Inside Mercer Basketball with Coach Bob Hoffman and your host Rick Cameron. Brought to you by Wild Wing Cafe.
Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome once again to Wild Wing Cafe in Macon, Georgia. We're here to talk Mercer basketball with Mercer head coach Bob Hoffman. Coach, certainly a lot to talk about this evening as we come down the stretch, so to speak. Big game last week, a couple of big games coming up later on. But this evening, to start off with, before we talk specifically about games, thought we would take just a moment and give our fans to learn a little bit more about our players. We know them by position, we know their hometowns, maybe know their statistics. I'm going to name off, let's say, the starting five, and you tell us something about that player we may or may not know. Let's start with points.
Did we decide this?
I did. Is that okay?
I guess so. You're in charge. Go for it.
It's your show. All right. Langston Hall. We know Langston's our point guard. Tell us something about Langston folks may not know.
Well, Langston played at Chamblee High School in Atlanta, and when I was watching him one night, it was an amazing game. He was playing really well, but he did something he hadn't done since. And he went up, got up really high, and got a tip dunk in a game that I kid him about still to this day because I haven't seen anything close to that since then. He's a terrific player, but a tip dunk's not something that you think of when you think of Langston Hall.
Okay, there we go. All right, what about Travis Smith? I know you like to call him post-game just Travis. He does so many things well. Tell us something about Travis.
Well, Travis is from South Carolina, right on the water, on the beach. In fact, his house, you can walk out the back and go get oysters. And in fact, when we were doing our home visit, they had like dozens of oysters on their back porch. And he didn't offer me any. His mom offered me some cake, but I didn't want any cake. I wanted some of those oysters. I didn't get to crack any, didn't get to shuck any, didn't get to eat any of those oysters, but Travis loves seafood. So anytime I want to motivate him a little bit, playing a little better, I said, Travis, there's a chance we could go eat some seafood tonight and we get a W. And that really perks him up a little, gets him fired up and going.
All right, let's go west a little bit and talk about Bud Thomas from Highlands Ranch, Colorado.
Well, Bud Thomas, as you know, and a lot of people might not know, there's a famous person from his high school that won many gold medals this summer. You know who it is?
Missy Franklin, I believe.
Okay, that's a good answer.
Thank
you. I didn't know if you know it or not. But they're from the same high school. And when we played out of Denver this year, she was at the game and sat with his mom and dad. And I know they communicate a lot, but that's something the guys give him a hard time about a lot.
All right, let's go way up north to Stevens Point, Wisconsin, and Jake Gollon.
Well, Jake Gollon has been here so long, I don't know if I know anything about him other than he's working on a second degree, which is a big deal. And the first time I ever saw him play, right after I got the job, I went to Stevens Point and watched him work out with some Division III guys at Wisconsin Stevens Point and went to his house. And still to this day, he's upset that I didn't eat his mom's cooking. I wasn't real hungry. I've been traveling all over the place, and I didn't eat anything that night. And I guess we're still holding a grudge about that.
Let's go down to the coast near Savannah now and talk about Daniel Coursey.
Well, Daniel Coursey, there's a lot of things you could talk about Daniel. He's one to be he is a medical student. I don't know if I'd want him working on me. I don't know what kind of medicine he's going to be performing, but he works really hard in the classroom. He's got a great point, and I know he'll be a terrific doctor someday.
Let's go a couple more players. The Nat, we like to call him, Kevin Canevari.
Well, Kevin, I'm not sure if he'll end up doing what his degree is. I think he'd be a terrific coach, but I watched him in the state championship game. They won the state championship in North Carolina. I was at NC State for the state championship high school game. He was the point guard on the team. He was terrific that night, and he was the reason they won the state championship in North Carolina. It was fun to watch him, and it's still fun to watch him compete every night out.
One of our young guys, big players that has improved so much. Coach, tell us about T.J. Hallis.
Well, T.J. went to prep school. He didn't end up going right out of high school. He decided to go to Fishburne Military Academy, and he played there and competed well, but he told me he'd never go back to a military prep school again. He had to get up at 6, do all the drills, all the walking. I think he was very grateful when he got into our dorms on campus. And a lot of freshmen weren't so excited about those dorms, but he was fired up because it had air conditioning. And where he was at Fishburne didn't have any air conditioning.
All right, that leads us into the last player we'll talk about this evening. Tell us about Jabri.
Well, Jabri's been hurt. He's a terrific guy, terrific player. He's been here multiple years, and we're hoping he'll get another year back. He's been hurt every year out. He's made a difference every time he's been in, but he's injured right now. And he has a fantastic family. His mom and grandma went all the way to the Virgin Islands to watch him play, and he had some great games there, and we're hopeful that he'll get back soon.
Okay, we'll talk about more individual players next week, but we've got more to go this evening, and we'll do that when we return with more Inside Mercer Basketball.
So here's the game plan. Rush into the Wild Wing Cafe and tackle one of our new steakhouse burgers. 100% Angus, 100% great. It's an all-star lineup that can win you tickets to the biggest games of the year. Where?
For over 20 years, Mercer has relied on Forsyth Street Orthopedics.
Their team of doctors help keep our players on the court.
As a graduate of Mercer and a partner of Forsyth Street Orthopedics, we are proud to sponsor and take care of Mercer athletes. We work with Mercer Sports Medicine to return our injured athletes to competition as soon as their injuries allow and hopefully protect them from further injury.
Forsyth Street Orthopedics, getting better together.
Go Bears!
Back in Heritage Hall to talk with another one of our Mercer players, Mr. Kevin Canevari, junior from Charlotte, North Carolina. Kevin joining us today. And Kevin, first question I want to ask you, when we go through an airport and we've got all these guys 6'10", 6'11", all the 6'8", 6'9", they look up, and then there come you and I through. You're an inspiration to the guy who's not 6'9" and 6'10" and wants to play college basketball. Tell us the grit, determination, what it takes, a guy who's not the tallest guy on the team to play at this level.
Well, it's just something that I guess you're born with, and it's something inside you and your heart, and just inside of you that you want to just get the job done, no matter how tall someone is or how big or how athletic, whatever it is. It's just something that it's inside of you, and you're not going to let anyone, no matter what the circumstances is, I guess beat you for any reason.
Kevin, I think the best compliment that any of us pay to you is calling you a gnat, because any of us that have been in South Georgia know a gnat gets in your eyes. You can't get rid of it. When you're on the basketball floor, I can't help myself but saying, you better know where Kevin Canevari is, because he's going to take the ball and pick your pocket. Tell us what you're thinking when you go on the floor and the other teams, maybe after a made basket about to make the pass inbounds, and how you sense that basketball may be something you can get your hands on.
Right. Well, when I come in, I look to definitely turn up the intensity and up the tempo, especially on defense. So if they do get the ball in, whatever it may be, I just try to heat the point guard up as much as I can and force them to get a quick shot or quickly start their offense in a way that they're uncomfortable or not ready to do. So I try to just up the tempo a little bit and force them into a bad shot, hopefully, or get a steal.
Walk us back earlier years to the young Kevin, 10 or 12 years old, what you did growing up, and was basketball your thing, or was that just one of the many things you enjoyed?
When I was little, I liked all sports, basketball, baseball, and soccer. I played everything, football too, here and there, but when I was little, I just was always outside playing from the time the sun came up to the time it went down. I was just always out and about, and basketball kind of came as I got a little bit older. I was probably starting high school when I decided that basketball was my main, that I was going to try to take basketball to hopefully collegiately. But growing up, it was just all sports. I was just always out and about.
Kevin, I think a great example of your determination to play this game was last year when we're down in the state of Florida, and all of a sudden in a play in that finger went into your eye. All of us just kind of cringed, and we've all seen ankle injuries, foot injuries, knee injuries, but boy, a finger to the eye, we all just held our breath. Could have been a really serious injury. It was serious, in fact, but how difficult was that and the next few days to recover from that?
Well, it was definitely a unique injury. Like when I first got poked in the eye, like I was blind for a couple weeks after that, and they told me, I mean, I should be able to see again, but they couldn't guarantee it. So that was something kind of weird to deal with. But as it got, you know, further on and I started to see it, you know, it got a little better. But it was weird to deal with at first because I had never gotten poked in the eye, and I had to wear goggles after that. But once I was able to come back from it, it wasn't anything.
All right, Kevin, several of your teammates have talked about the camaraderie that you guys have and how you like one another and hang out with one another. Occasionally I'll see pictures on Facebook of you and some guys, and you guys really do enjoy one another, whether it's in season or out of season. Tell us about the friendships you have.
Well, ever since I got here, you know, we came in and we were all, you know, didn't know each other at all, but now we're, you know, brotherhood and a family, and so we're all really tight. And whether it's on the court or off the court, you know, we spend pretty much all day, every day together, and we're just all, you know, real good friend group. So.
All right, Kevin, the calendar is moving. We're about to head into the first of the year. Conference games, conference tournament's just a few weeks away. Are you chomping at the bit to get back down here in this tournament one more time to try to cut these nets down?
Yeah, we're definitely working hard to get everything done so that we could be able to cut the nets down. It's obviously one game at a time, and we've been practicing every day as hard as we can, so that's our goal, to be cutting down the nets. All
right, Kevin, final question. When you get that Mercer diploma in hand, what do you want to do with the rest of your life?
Man, that's a big question. Well, when that time presents itself, I guess we'll have to see at that point in time, but as of now, I'm not too sure. We'll see where life takes us from there, but I'm majoring in business management, so we'll see if that has something to do with it. Maybe coaching, maybe, you know, we'll see from there. All
right, Kevin, you're always a joy to watch on the team. I know when you're on the floor that nobody's billfold is safe, but it's always a pleasure to watch you play. Kevin Canevari, our junior guard from Charlotte, North Carolina. We're going to be back in just a moment. Head back up to the Wild Wing and Coach Hoffman with more Inside Mercer Basketball.
As a business owner, you need to choose the financial direction that's best for you to find a clear path to growth and success. At BB&T, we support businesses of all sizes with personal service and advice, sharing the sound financial knowledge we've gained over more than 140 years so you can move ahead with confidence. Talk to us today about your business goals. BB&T, sharing knowledge for a brighter direction.
I have purchased 5 Jeeps here at 5 Star, and my sister-in-law from Florida actually came up and purchased a Jeep here. The way you're treated, the satisfaction, the service, just overall good experience. And you know, for me to come back that many times speaks for itself.
Droid DNA augmentation initiated. Neural speeds increasing to 4G LTE. Brain upgrading to a quad-core processor. Precognitive intelligence with Google Now complete.
Introducing Droid DNA by HTC. It's not an upgrade to your phone, it's an upgrade to yourself.
Well, we're back at Wild Wing Cafe to talk more Inside Mercer Basketball. Our guest this evening, Jonathan Howard, Director of Operations for Men's Basketball. Jonathan, first, if you will, tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and I believe you've been with Coach Hoffman for several years now.
Absolutely, yeah. I grew up in Georgia, claimed Georgia's my home. My dad's a pastor, so we kind of moved around various and sundry places, but known Coach since I was a kid. My parents actually went to school with him, and so I've known of him, never really knew him until a couple years ago, but went to this camp when I was 12, and I think that was kind of where I started down the ops road. He saw me playing ball and was like, yeah, there's not a shot. He can play basketball. Let's do something else with him. So I've known of him for a long time and then met him about 4 years ago when we moved here to Macon.
All right, Jonathan, you actually started off with this Mercer men's program doing a different job prior to becoming Director of Operations, which really gave you a chance to get to know the system here and Mercer. And tell us about what you first did with Mercer prior to being Director of Ops.
Absolutely. I was in a blessed position where I was able to spend a lot of time here and around the program, and so Coach gave me kind of one thing after another, opportunities to get involved. And so I did really work as kind of a volunteer grad assistant for 2 years, getting to learn kind of the ins and outs of the managerial side and a lot of the ops things, getting to watch from a distance. So then when I got the opportunity to do it, I already had a list of things that I knew were good things to continue, and maybe some other things I'd like to try differently.
All right, Jonathan, outside of the coaching staff, I think Andy Stabell and I and some of the others that travel with the team know behind the scenes the vast amount of work you have to do. But I guess it's something similar to taking your family on vacation and taking about 25 guests with you. But tell us what it's like to prepare this team to hit the road.
It's a lot of details. I mean, just what you would imagine, just little bitty things that add up to be a big deal. And so it's a lot of ahead of time, just checking and double checking and making sure that things are ready and that people are in the right places so that when we get there, there's not anything to worry about. So it can be just a smooth thing. My goal is I want our guys to think that there's nothing that goes involved, you know, there's nothing involved with it. It just kind of happens. And that when we get there, they're just ready to focus on the things at hand rather than stuff that I didn't do right.
Jonathan, I think there's another role on this team that you play, the unofficial, really the team chaplain, so to speak, and I know that's something you think a lot of and take great pride in. Tell us a little bit about that as well.
Well, ultimately, that's my reason for being here. I truly believe that God's called me to do ministry, and this right now is my congregation and my mission field, and I really cherish the opportunity to be here and do that, and that's why I'm blessed to be with Coach, because that's something that's near and dear to his heart, and so he gives me a lot of liberty and a lot of opportunity to not only share my faith, but to just invest in the lives of these guys on a weekly basis. And sometimes we get a chance to open the Word, and other times we're just doing maybe some studies of different things and some team building opportunities. But truly, that's why I'm here. It's not, I love basketball and grew up wanting to be a coach, but ultimately my desire is to impact the kingdom of God through impacting these kids' lives on a daily basis.
All right, Coach Hoffman, I know you think highly of this guy and the job he's done, but share with us what Jonathan Howard means to this program.
Well, I think the most important thing Jonathan does is he's just stable. You know, and in the environment we're in and all the travel, and you have glitches and you have food that's not right and a restaurant that won't be prepared, or, you know, and we try to be on a schedule and we try to get in and out on restaurants and hotels. Got to have the cards ready when we get there, to a bus maybe not starting one morning when we're at Alabama and we're trying to get a shoot around to play the University of Alabama, and I'm not real happy, and trying to find different ways to work through those details and maybe seeing problems before they arise, and that's what Jonathan's really good at, and that's a great attribute in the role that he plays. But I'd say beyond that, not only does he work with the guys in the realm of being a chaplain, but also just being, like I said, stabling force within our staff. I think our guys look to him and enjoy the opportunity to spend time with him. Talk a little bit about like that, Jonathan, what has been getting to know those guys in different roles outside of basketball.
Well, it's been a huge blessing. Probably one of the biggest things for me is that opportunity to hang out with the guys in the office. I was telling somebody this week that when I took the job, I was taking it with the opportunity and the thought in mind of impacting and being invested in the guys on the team. And really probably what's happened more is that I've had the opportunity to invest in the guys in the office, because those are the guys I get to see every day. And that's probably one of the funnest parts of the job, is being around those guys. We have a good camaraderie, have a good time hanging out together, to where it doesn't even really feel like work most of the time. And so what a blessing it is to be in a place where you enjoy going to work, we enjoy hanging out with the guys in and outside of the office.
Jonathan, game day, a whole bunch of folks get excited pre-game, headed to the arena. You can just see the energy bubbling over, but you've been known to show just a little bit of excitement yourself on the sideline during the game. You kind of enjoy the games as well, I would imagine.
Oh, absolutely. We wait all year long to play games. That's the best part of the week, is game day. And so sometimes I do get a little too excited. It was easier when I was a GA, because I sat on the second row, and nobody really pays attention when you're on the second row. You can't get anybody in trouble. And so when I got to bump up to the first row, I had to kind of dial it back, because I was afraid I might incur too much attention from the wrong people.
Jonathan, there's a rumor out there that sometimes Coach doesn't believe you when you say we've only got one timeout left.
No, that's not a rumor. He believes, he knows better than I do. I'm just there to remind him along the way. So he's got it all. I'm just there just to make sure we're good.
Jonathan, thanks for all you do as Director of Operations. A very important job. Appreciate the job you do. You and the coaching staff all work together very well, and it's a great joy to work with you guys. Jonathan Howard, our Director of Operations, visiting with us this evening. We've got some special guests coming up in the next segment. You will want to hang around for this when we return with more Inside Mercer Basketball.
So here's the game plan. Rush into the Wild Wing Cafe and tackle one of our new steakhouse burgers. 100% Angus, 100% great. It's an all-star lineup that can win you tickets to the biggest games of the year. Where?
For over 20 years, Mercer has relied on Forsyth Street Orthopedics.
Their team of doctors help keep our players on the court.
As a graduate of Mercer and a partner of Forsyth Street Orthopedics, we are proud to sponsor and take care of Mercer athletes. We work with Mercer Sports Medicine to return our injured athletes to competition as soon as their injuries allow and hopefully protect them from further injury.
Forsyth Street Orthopedics, getting better together.
Go Bears!
I was looking through the paper and I saw a really good ad from 5-Star Ford and Warner Robins. So when I went, I was actually really picky and my salesperson worked with me until I finally found the truck that I liked, and it was a black Ford 2011 F-150 XLT Super Crew. And it actually has an EcoBoost, so it's a little bit better on gas, and I love it. I would definitely recommend 5-Star to all my friends.
Okay, the Mercer University dance team, Toby and Todd. It is no wonder the environment at Hawkins Arena is so exciting when the Mercer basketball teams play. Coach, big win last week over Kennesaw State. Your team played well. Great environment, more than 3,000 people in the house, thanks to these folks and a lot of others. But you guys really shared the ball and played great defense on last week.
Yeah, we had 19 assists on 25 baskets. Anytime you're doing that, I mean, you're going to win a lot of games. And right now, we're shooting free throws really well. We're in the top 10 in the country. We got to keep that up. Most people still are trying to figure out in Middle Georgia, there's still a lot of folks don't know that we're Division I. We're playing for the same national championship that Georgia and Georgia Tech are. That's an important thing to keep reminding folks of. We've been doing that for 5 years, and I think what the atmosphere is showing in home games, we're averaging almost 2,800 a game. When we came 5 years ago, we averaged about 700, and that is a big energy boost to our players. The dance team, the cheerleaders, Toby, Todd, all those things make a huge difference for us winning a championship. That's what we're trying to do. We got 4 games at home left and 4 on the road. We need to win all of them. We're half game back of first place, and it's going to take serious effort from everyone of the Mercer family to get it done.
All right, Coach, one thing you remind all of us is the good news. We control our own destiny. 8 games to go. We win 8 games. We capture the regular season and first place seed. So certainly it's comforting to know that if we play well and can win these games, the goal is out there, the one that we strove for all year. And with Jacksonville coming up, tough game, 2-point loss down there the last time.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be a tough game. They got great athletes. They are going to get after you. They're going to press the whole game. Cliff Warren's done a tremendous job since he's been there of working every angle of getting recruits, and they've put some really good players on the floor. We've had some great games with them in the past, as you remind me about a lot. And I know we're going to have a tough test again against them. We had a tip in to tie it, actually 2 down there. I didn't get to see it, but I'll get to see this one live and in color at Hawkins Fieldhouse and Arena, and that's going to be important for us coming down the stretch. We need to get this win somehow, some way.
Coach, Jacksonville, a young team. The last 4 consecutive weeks, they have had the Newcomer of the Week award in the ASUN. So certainly a lot of new players that our fans may not have seen before.
Yeah, they got tremendous athletes. Powell inside, Powell at the point guard. They're not brothers, but they play with tremendous energy. They got one of the best players in the league, McDougal. He can do a lot of great things. You know, it's amazing what they've been able to do, but we've played well against them since we've been here. It's going to be a tough game, but we need to get it done some way, somehow, and that energy makes a huge difference when you get down to the end, and that's what we have in our arena.
And obviously from a team perspective, Jacksonville is the only opponent you're looking at, but from a fan's perspective, doubleheader this weekend. Our women are playing so well. Coach Gardner may have done the best coaching job of anyone in the country, so a great doubleheader coming up on Saturday as well.
Well, the best turnaround and the second best turnaround in NCAA women's basketball right now in all the country, 350 teams, and they got the second best turnaround right now. They're on a roll. They're playing with great energy. She's done a fantastic job, her and her staff. It'll be a great doubleheader on Saturday. We're playing North Florida. We were able to hold them down a little bit at their place, won by 19 on the road. We cannot stand around and watch them shoot threes because they have one of the best three-point shooters in the country. He scored 46 on us last year at his place, and we're going to have to be ready for those guys when they come. Those Ospreys come in on Saturday. That'll be a big doubleheader for both our teams.
And Coach, final question. We've talked so much about the conference standings when we had this show last week. 5 teams tied for first place, and still, even though a week later and several games have rolled out, still there's 5, 6, 7 teams within a game or two, which is really going to make a great finale these last 4 weeks.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's what Atlantic Sun's been since I've been in it. A lot of parity, a lot of teams can win. We're half game back of first. 2 teams are half game back of us. All we got to do is win. Win, baby, win. That's all you want to do. And you want to go to the NCAA tournament. Then we get the conference tournament home. We got to find a way to get those W's on the board so we can get that conference championship.
And we'll coach the home court advantage, which you've worked really hard to establish. 11 in a row. Might as well keep it going for 2 more this week.
Yeah, we've moved into, I think we're in the top 20 in the country for that record. The most wins in a row. We want to keep it going because that means if you do that, you got a chance to finish this thing out right. We want to win 7 in a row at home and cut those nets down on March 9th and go to the NCAA tournament.
All right, Coach, you, your coaching staff, your players have done a great job of doing that. These guys behind us as well. Looks like there's only one thing left to say as we get ready to play 2 games this week, and that is
Go Bears! Yeah, go Bears!
Hope to see you next week with more Inside Mercer Basketball.
Oh!